Hi, my name is Lauren Petrea, and I'm honored to share my proposal of my dissertation with the committee. Before I introduce the problem of practice of my study, I want to share with you all a little bit of my background as an educator. For the last 17 years, I have worked as a classroom teacher, master teacher, instructional coach, assistant principal, and principal. Being a teacher was always my dream because when my family first moved to the United States in 1991, I was 10 years old, spoke 3 words in English, and was so lost. Trying to navigate a new school, new curriculum, new language, new friends, and new culture was challenging for me. But luckily, I had an amazing teacher. My fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Fisher, not only took time to work with me one on one, she came to my house and read with me. She showed me every day how much she believed in me. With the support of my family and dedicated teachers, I skipped 2 grades, received a full scholarship to UC Davis, and graduated with a 2 bachelor's degree in 3.5 years. After graduating from UC Davis, I enrolled in a multiple subject credential program at St. Mary's College. I wanted to dedicate my life to the field of education. I was excited to serve kids. My program taught me to connect with students, assess students in multiple ways, and focus on student engagement. When I was a classroom teacher, I felt supported whenever I needed guidance with students with an IEP. My underachieving students, English language learners, and students who needed support in speech or occupational therapy received services. They had a support team, but for students who are performing above grade level, it was my job to figure it out. I had no curriculum, no support staff, no training to work with them. Problem of practice. Gifted students are one group of exceptional learners who are not normally considered at risk for academic failure. Through research, I found that there are common myths people believe about gifted students. Through this work, I hope to share greater understanding of gifted and talented students' struggles and needs, how we as educators can support them. Gifted and talented means those students who are identified as possessing demonstrated or potential abilities that give evidence of high performing capabilities in intellectual, creative, specific academic, or leadership areas. Another definition of gifted and talented is having ability in the performing or visual arts and who require services or activities not ordinarily provided by the school in order to fully develop such capabilities. Research shows that gifted learners learn up to 8 times as quickly as low IQ students and can master several years of grade level material in a single year. These gifted students start the school year learning letters and sounds in kindergarten, even though they have already mastered these skills. Gifted students find schoolwork too easy and redundant. When schools are not allowing all students to be challenged in school, schools are failing our children. It is predicted that 20% of high school dropouts may be gifted. With the current lack of policy for gifted programs, states are free to develop their own definitions, and districts can create their own policies on how they support gifted students. With lack of funding for schools, school administration and the board often chooses to cut budget from the GATE programs, which is optional, rather than cutting funding from servicing underachieving students, which is mandatory. No Child Left Behind has forced schools to deeply subsidize the education of the least gifted, and gifted programs have suffered from the policy. With No Child Left Behind, districts are penalized by the state with budget cuts when schools are not moving underachieving students forward, but there is no reward for moving high achieving students to achieve more. For the study, I have chosen a public school in Northern California. For the study, I will call the district Emerson School District, which is a one school district serving students TK through 8th grade. Emerson District's goal is that by June 2022, it will adopt policies to identify gifted students grades 3rd through 8th and provide services to the identified gifted students. In year 2021 to 2022, Emerson District will form a GATE committee through their school site council. The committee will be led by the elementary school principal and will have representatives from school staff and parents. While the joint efforts of all stakeholders are valuable in achieving the organizational goal of identifying gifted students at Emerson District, without teacher buy-in to provide additional support for the gifted students, district-adopted assessment will be meaningless. Therefore, the stakeholders of focus for this study will be all teachers at Emerson School District. For the research, these are the 2 questions. Question 1. What are the knowledge, motivation, and organizational elements that interfere with achieving the academic needs of all students at Emerson School District? Next, how does the knowledge and motivation of Emerson School District stakeholders shape their instructional choices and the lack of gifted services implementation? Even though gifted students are considered having special needs, special education funding has been used for academically underachieving students. Accountability is the key concept that is needed to meet the stakeholders' goal. Without federal mandate to keep all districts accountable to support all learners, districts are not obligated to have a program for gifted education. To achieve this, teachers need knowledge of what policies out there for the gifted. Teachers need to understand what it means to be gifted, how gifted students are identified, and what gifted programs have been successful. Teachers also need to know how to use COGAT and administer them, and how to analyze COGAT. Teachers also need to be reflective of their own abilities to provide differentiated instruction. But that is not all. Teachers need to believe the value in differentiating instruction for gifted students. And teachers need to believe that they are capable of effectively differentiating instruction for all students. But that is not all. The district also needs to have an acceptance and willingness to learn about supporting gifted students. And the organization needs a culture of trust. And the organization needs funding to be able to pay and hire staff to administer assessment and to support gifted programs. For this study, I'm going to ask all of our teachers at Emerson School District to take a quantitative survey. And also, I will be asking 3 volunteers from middle school teachers to do a one-on-one qualitative interview. And lastly, I'm going to observe 4 to 6 teachers and how they differentiate math in the classroom. I want to end this video with an interview I had recently with a few gifted students at my work, including my son Brayden. Since my school district does not identify gifted students, I had my son do an outside testing, and we found out that he scored a 99th percentile. He is gifted. He's currently taking after-school classes to be challenged. But what about students who cannot do that? My research is for all students who do not have the resources and support to meet their fullest potential.
Like it, all the stuff is easy to do at school.
So is that good?
It's not hard. Yeah, I mean, it can be good.
Why is that good when things are easy?
You don't have to do as much work.
What about you guys?
I think it would be better if it was a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean by that?
Because then we could learn a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like more than we already know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everything that they're teaching, we already know.
Do you push yourself to do better? Or do you get influence from teachers or parents or outside factors?
I'm
I usually have
self-influenced.
to, but
You're self-motivated, Quinn? Yeah?
I usually am self-motivated, but some teachers help me. Or not teachers, but some people help me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alex?
Well, I think I sometimes am self-motivated.
Yeah?